Right. Give it a few minutes. Right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to FPRL Season 7, Tier 2, Round 12, Round USA. Or some people like to call it Texas. Your host for tonight in the comms box is me, Rosie R180, usually on a Wednesday. And tonight, I'm joined by a different person tonight. Introduce yourself.
Oscar 1888, and a pleasure to be finally back in Comsbox once again.
Welcome, Chris Green. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, hopefully. Going to enjoy a good race tonight with these tier 2 guys. Personally, I've been racing with them until up to a couple of weeks ago. We've been a bit busy, and I know how this tier has been doing all season 7 and 7.5. I think we're in for a good one tonight and see if I think it is Nidal can technically be able to clinch it next week if he does outscore if he 2 tonight by 15 points.
And we'll just wait and see what's gonna happen in qualifying, as we are just waiting to see if any other drivers are joining. We've got 19 people in, including ourselves. Who else are we waiting for? Let's have a look.
Aston Martin. So it is going to be Biddle. Of course, Biddle runs
Yeah,
late.
just waiting on him. Yeah, I believe that's it. All we're waiting for is an Aston Martin.
Biddle must be getting the sweat mode out. If he's not even joined yet, must be getting them extra laps of practicing, making everybody wait. As he's just said he's going to join it in quali. So he should be able to
Alright
get
then.
going here now.
Yeah, and people are just readying up. And we are now going into short qualifying. And at the moment, the standings for Tier 2 is actually looking quite good at the moment. Night Owl, I believe, has got 110 points. L Plan has got 97. Law's got 93, so it is all really close for Tier 2.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be them top three guys. Doesn't look like Stiffmeister's going to be able to close in that gap. I'm trying to pick up on the pieces, but I think tonight could be a big one for Law. He is leading the world championship at the minute, but he is, what's that, 17 behind?
Mm.
To get to command this 7.5 season, plus get him in for
Oh,
the overall. And we have
and it
rain.
looks like we've got rain. That's like a little bit of. It's not heavy, but it's a little bit dripping. And Nigel said in the chat, "Oh my life, I couldn't think of a worse co-coms." That's a bit harsh.
Right, Peggle, what have I ever done to you? That's just, I'm not even going to say that word.
Hi, Krusky and Rosie. By the way, Krusky, you're really echoing.
Oh,
Skull Kid said.
2 seconds.
Yeah, Bread is cool is, if you're wondering why he's retired, he is starting at the back because he missed the check-in. You cursed me that one time in the Miami social on F122.
Yes, Skull Kid, relax.
It's fine, Skull Kid, relax. Right, let's get everything up on screen. And I believe the first person that will set a lap is
Like, it should be one of the Alpines. It is,
yeah, and it's
Laura Yorkie.
oh, he's invalidated his lap. Well, not his lap, but he's invalidated it.
Thankfully for him, that's only an out lap, so it shouldn't really matter unless he does it again around the final corner, which will invalidate his next lap.
Yeah, this is not actually his lap. He's just about to start one now. Talk us through his lap.
Yep, just coming uphill to turn one, uphill braking, so you are able to brake a bit later, tight hairpin. He does take that pretty well into the apex. Now coming through this sector one here, it's all just left, right, into this rain. It's going to be very hard for these guys to keep it nice through line, carry all the speed through every part of this sector, but he does seem to have done that. His left-hander back end will want to try to creep out, and again on this right-hander side will try to creep out again, but he does seem to get through that nicely. Just coming up into the middle of sector 2, coming down towards the back straight. Again, it's a slight hairpin left, just braking after the 100-meter board. Again, gets the car nicely turned in. Now it's just full throttle all the way down the back straight. You can't get a toe, so he is going to be losing some time to the guys in behind you are on their runs. This is the time now. You pick out your braking zone. In this rain, it is going to be very hard to get this car stopped nicely. We'll see. Looks to have turned in a bit early. He's got away without the invalidation. I think he's got a bit lucky there. Coming into the double right-hander at the end of sector 2. And the car will try to back out. There's slight back out. Now we have the double apex left-hander in the middle of sector 3. It's just understeer city round there, but he does seem to have got through. We're kind of at we'll say turning it Istanbul right-hander as he's very wide. It nearly somehow cost him, but he has kept it on the track down the quick left-hander. Penultimate corner, he has lost it on the rear, coming up to the final corner. See, can he keep it nice and tidy, get to the line? We do see that. So Yorkie's setting a 1:44.2. Plenty of time, though, I do find to be making, as Diamond sets at 44.1.
Thank you there, Crossgrey. Who else is where Winter has invalidated his lap? Raza Gamer is on his lap. He goes into he's into sector 2 and Bedley has joined. And Law goes P1 with a 142.832. Gary gets a 143.648 and Stiffmeister gets a 143.220. And Night Owl gets a nice P4 with a 143.844.
Yeah, I think Law's just continuing to do what he's done in this second half of the season, take the guys by quality and just run away with it in the race. So he's already created a 4/10 gap to Stiffmeister. Whether Stiffmeister's got
Oh,
enough to get back on that, we will see in the next 10-15 minutes.
and Raza Gamer goes P7 with a 144.289. Not a bad lap from him. Dino Dan is on his lap into sector 3 and he's got a Mercedes behind him and that won't bother him at all. As he comes around the last corner, what will it be for the McLaren driver? P3 for Dino Dan with a 143.621. Eagle 78 gets P9. Oh, P10 now with a 144.562. Steel gets a 143.712. And Lexus, what a lap, a 144.438 for P10. Yeah, I'm doing good, Skull Kid. How are you? And who else is on a lap? More leader. Take us through his lap, finishing lap, Crossgrey.
Yep, so we just came out of sector 1, coming down towards the middle of sector 2 now, back straight again, downhill braking just after the 100-meter board. Just make sure the car does get stopped and turn in, try to straighten out the cars from much on exit as you can. Coming down this back straight, we'll see his sector time just once we get past this next corner, which is the left hairpin. Just coming up, should be braking between 100 and 150. Can we get the car turned in and slowed down? He does. Runs out nice and wide, straight back over to the left for this double right-hander. It's 108.9 through the second sector. That is not a bad time actually in the rain. Getting double left-hander now, just understeer, and we do get it in nicely. Straighten it out on the exit. Try to get that power down under these conditions. We'll try to keep down the inside now. This, but he does run slightly wide. That is going to cost him. That's not the corner. Can he keep it within the lines on exit? Looks like he does. Very nicely there, actually, more later. And to the final corner, nicely through the apex and onto the par. It is a 43.1, so that's an absolutely fantastic time, actually, for more later.
Thank you there, Crossgrey. And Cruiser gets a 144.747. He did well in his lap, but unfortunately it's only P14 for now. Who else was doing a lap while we were looking at those two drivers? Glock Lesnar, he got a 144.558 for P13. Panic End in the Mercedes getting a 144.338. I believe that's it at the moment. Who's on a lap at the moment? Bidley's on a lap, and L Plan. You go on board with Bidley, and I'll go on board with L Plan.
No problem.
Oh, and Nigel's just said in the chat, something about Cruiser.
I'm not gonna say that he's wrong. I will say that. He does look to have actually a pretty good lap time going on at the minute. Just coming at the back straight, he has just ran slightly wide. That will hamper this. This kind of just going to be a banger good lap on the board and hopefully improve in his next run as he runs wide and actually just invalidates. So that's not going to be nice for him. Just time to save up his battery and go again.
And Clatch adds in the chat saying Bidley putting on full TC. Tut tut. And Ads has just said in the chat, Rosie, who's your co-coms?
He should know me pretty well after last season. I mean, the comms partners, and obviously he doesn't recognise me. That's fine, lads.
And Nigel's redeemed a drink in the chat, and Ads has just said that Scottish bloke.
Yeah, close enough, lads. We'll say that. So.
Oh, and our plan is P6 at the moment with a 143.668. And
Dan here, he's come through the last sector of a second time lap. He has had a nice toe from, it looks like Yorkie, who's on his out lap, so it could be an improvement, but it could hamper him through this triple right-hander in sector 3, so it will be something to keep an eye out for.
Sure, we can. Ads, we can go on board with Raza Gamer, who is recently new to tier 2. He's a reserve driver. Let's see if he can beat his lap time of a 144.289, especially with that it's really damp on the track. It's gonna be hard, but we've not seen many drivers at the moment invalidate their lap. Oh, and Raz gets a purple sector 2. I think he was up on his time. I can't believe this guy thought he was a title rival to me. Fair enough. Raz is doing well at the moment. Especially Raz is on no assists.
He was 5/10 up through that second sector, so at the minute he's looking in around P7, P8. If he can get a slight bit more improvement, you know, we could see him top 5 here. There is quite a gap from P4 to P5. He could easily slot in that with another 10th improvement. Very wide there. That's going to cost him a couple of tenths at least.
And Law beats his lap time with a 142.551. And Raz gets P6. Not bad from Raz Gamer.
Yeah, it's a good lap, especially with no assist in these challenging conditions. I think he could be actually happy enough with that one.
And as all the people that have done their laps, unfortunately at the moment, Bidley has invalidated his lap and going into the pits. He's only P19 at the moment.
That's definitely not what Biddle's going to be wanting. He'll be looking to try to get out again here now in free fresh set of enters with about 4 minutes to go in this session. So there is time to get out, maybe even squeeze in 2 laps if he is lucky. But he does need to get out of that garage as soon as possible.
Look at Gaza, full TC up in third. Up the Gary in P3. He's doing well at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in the race.
Hopefully things, haven't went well for Gary this year. Even just this game cycle, last game cycle he did have the pace and it just seemed to have all gone. So hopefully he can finish off this game cycle with, dare I say it, a win. If so, it's his first ever in FPRL, and I think everybody would love to finally see that, even though we wouldn't hear the end of it. But we will see, as he's actually coming into the pit, so it looks like that could be his qualifying done.
And if you would like to join our F1 Discord server, Nightbot has put a link in, as we are looking for more drivers to join, especially with the new game coming out in around a week's time, I think. So we do really want new drivers to join for our new game. And if you want to join our F2 Discord server, there will be a link, and that race is on a Saturday, and you will see me probably on comms on Saturday. So yeah.
Just had Glock Lesnar come through there. He's a second up through a second sector. He's put him up to P7. So he will be able to recharge his battery here for one last go. So anyone now across the line, this is it. It's their one and done kind of thing.
Who's on a lap? Who's improving their lap? We've got L-Plan, who's improving his lap. Most drivers are probably going on a last lap, as we have. Oh, gone.
2.5 tenths up. So yes, this could put him P2. So might be worthwhile just keeping an eye on him, how he does through this final sector.
Yep, and we've got a minute and 10 seconds left, I believe. I can't really see because of the yellow flags everywhere.
This might have just coming across the line now. It's a 42.4, so it was absolutely great last sector. He's fired about 5 tenths. Jeez.
We got less than 47 minutes left, so drivers are probably gonna be finishing their laps up, as Cruiser has retired from the session. That's him done. And Dino Dan has invalidated his lap. Johnny B is into sector 3 as he comes around the last corner. Oh, and unfortunately he's only going to be P10. And Raza invalidates his lap, so only P9 for him. And that is it for qualifying. Diamond Douchey invalidates his.
We do have Law on a lap. He is a tenth and a half up, coming up towards the end of the second sector, just at the back straight. If he does keep that up, then he will take pole position off Steffmeister. So does have a bit of traffic actually in front of him, of a McLaren and an Alfa Romeo. So will they get in the way and distract him? We will see in the next couple of seconds. He's still just over a tenth up, so it is just about enough. He's got about 300 to play with here. But he will be facing the dirty air now, coming around the triple right-hander. It looks not to have been too bad now. It's just, can he get the penultimate corner out of the way? Just not run wide. He's run slightly wide, but it is within the limits. Up towards the last corner. Can we see Law for a pole? He doesn't. He's had a poor last sector. So it must have been that McLaren in the
Ooh.
way. Just maybe put him off a bit. It's just that maybe the run through the penultimate corner has given Steph Meister this pole position that it looks like.
Oh, and David Littleface is subscribed with Prime. Is subscribed for 21 months. Well done, David. And we've got 40. There we go. And that is it for our qualifying. Do you want to take a screenshot of the results?
Yeah, just doing that now.
Thanks. And we've got Steph Meister, Law, L-Plan, Rare Winter, More Leader, Gary, Night Owl, Steel, Lexus, Glock Lesnar, Reza Gamer, Johnny B, Diamond Dan, Diamond Douchey, Yorkie, Panic End, Eagle, Cruiser, Bedley, and Red is Cool. Where's a paper bag? I need one to hide my face. Worst quality in FPRL. Cruiser.
I mean, Cruiser, you will stand a chance. Simple as a poor quality, you know.
Ooh, and lovely sunny weather in Texas. And Diamond has subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 15 months. Come on, Diamond. What did you think of that qualifying then, Crosby?
Yeah, it was a good session, especially with the rains. Mixed it up. Well, I say mixed it up. Law still is up there with Stiffmeister. But, you know, you've got a few different guys there, and especially now you see Cruiser at the back. You know, that's probably something you wouldn't really think of seeing. As he said, it is his worst session, he says, in for now. But even our championship leader, Nidal, you know, he's down in P7, so he's going to have a bit of work to do. Try to maybe mix it up with the strategy, but I think one that will be disappointed, sadly, would be Daniel Modan in the McLaren. He was doing pretty well for the last couple of weeks, and it seems that maybe the rain hasn't suited him here in Austin, and hopefully it's being sunny, he might be able to claw back some point for that McLaren team, and maybe even try to reach a top 5. I think he'd be pretty happy with that one.
And Diamond has redeemed a drink in the chat. Thank you, Diamond. Have you got yourself a drink, Crosby?
Of course I have, and I think Gary would be pleased to hear that it's a Guinness, because God forbid anybody says I drink Guinness, it's a stereotype and all that, so just get the stereotype out of the way just for Gary, so that'll let him sleep tonight, we'll say.
Yeah. How's your week been, though, Crosby?
A lot of work. That's the only problem. Just 12-hour shifts just aren't fun. But it has to be done for the money. So
Yeah.
been quite enough week outside of that. But hopefully this is kind of the start of my weekend off for the next couple of days. It's a nice way to start off the weekend, watching 20 drivers
Mm.
pummel it around Austin. Hopefully all in one piece.
Right, and we've got the tyres on the screen. Crosby, could you talk us through 20 to P10, please?
Yes, no problem. So in the Haas is Bresco. He's starting on the medium tires, also on the mediums with poor qualifying, to say the least, would be Billy in the Aston Martin. Sadly, another one with a poor qualifying is the Ferrari of Cruiser, who's one of the ones that has actually started on the hards. Eagle and Panic take 17th and 16th, both on the mediums. P15 for Yorkie and the Alpine starting on hards. One of the only two drivers starting on the softs is Diamond Bucci. He'll be looking to get through the field as quick as he can, especially with 5 hard runners ahead of him, which are Dynamo Dan in the McLaren, Johnny B in the Alfa Romeo, and rounding up the bottom 10 is Razzie Gamer in the Red Bull on the hard tyres.
Thank you there, Crosby. And then followed on, we've got Glock Lesnar and Lexus, who are on the hard tyres. Steel, who's in P8, is on the softs. And then we've got Night Owl, who's starting off P7 on the hards. And then we've got the top 6 above, all on mediums. So that is kind of good on them to go on the mediums, and then Night Owl, he might have the advantage there as he's on the hards, but maybe for Steel, it's going to be a risk take for him as he's in the top 10 on softs.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to push through Night Owl as quick as he can and then maybe pick off the medium runners one by one. He'll probably get about 6-7 laps half decent out of these tyres before he'll start to fall off. As we are coming to the red lights, everyone should be just parking up at the back of the grid.
Yep, and we are going to be seeing the lights in a minute.
We'll just wait for Bidley here. He's just, I think he might be finishing his qualifying lap here.
And we are going to be away with the lights. I thought I heard them in the background, and there we go, and away we go. Stiffmeister manages to get a good start, but it's going to be 3 wide to go for P1. Oh, and what's gone on at the front, and Law manages to get away to P1. There's a bit of carnage going on in the front and back. Oh, and there's been caution in sector 1 and 2.
Is Dynamo Dan and Cruiser, they've had it coming together, probably just both fighting for the same bit of track. But one person that's really came out of this is actually Biddle. He's 5 places up, and all of that was in turn 1, sorry. He's just outbroke everybody and put it down the inside as he nearly actually gets clipped out the back end by Panic End. But apart from that, it looks like everybody else has survived the first sector.
Oh, and Steel and Silverside Boy are making a move on more leader. And what is going on at the front? Need a better camera angle. L-Plan is now P3. Steel and Railwinter are fighting it out for P4 and 5.
Still might have been running a bit wide there. It was a bit archy-barchy, but it does seem both of the soft runners are actually starting to make end ground. So it looks like this first couple of laps, they really are going to have a massive advantage. As we have a bit of background actually between Silverside Boy and Moore Leader. Silverside Boy right on the back of Steel.
And Law sets the good fastest lap so far of this Grand Prix. At the moment, it seems like it's all going well at the moment. Diamond and Lexus are going side by side. And Diamond Dushi's gone past Lexus to take P9 at the moment.
Something these guys will have to be worried about though is sector one. The corner cuts are very easy to come by, so I think maybe Diamond might already have got one warning out of that there while he was passing Lexus. So it will be something that could play towards the end of this race with the time penalties.
Oh, and what's going on at the back for P13 and P14 between Glock Lesnar and... Oh no, it's actually Glock Lesnar and Johnny B. A bit of side by side going on between them, and still it's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, and he is out.
Steel is out.
And Railwinter's spun, and Gary's got a 5-second time penalty. What was that for?
Has Gary made the contact with Steel that's given him the DNF? That's probably the case. If so, you could probably say to the stewards, you know, I couldn't get out of the way and maybe have that removed, but sadly that's not a possibility now because he does come into the pits, which will remove that 5-second time penalty.
He had a severe collision with Railwinter.
So Verwinter did get tagged on the back, I think. So that might have been that their contact has spun Verwinter around.
Gary killed Steel, says David in the chat. And Law gets a drive-through penalty for the safety car. And Panic End gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And there's caution in sector 2. And I believe that's where Brett is called.
Yeah, it looks like he's lost all of his front wing there. Didn't see what's actually happened, but I did see some bit of carbon fiber go flying. Yep, it's full front wing damage, so that's him having to come into the pits.
And Eagle and Yorkie having a bit of a love tap there. That's what drivers normally say. And Eagle is P13. And he's not, and Yorkie's not that far behind from him.
So, one thing we're actually going to see now, the top two have both got drive-through penalties, which are both just served now. That's going to release L plan. It's already got a 3-second time advantage on Night Owl. With being on the better tyres, you know, this could be pushed out quite a lot now. Maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds, maybe, by the time he has to come into the pits. Especially with more later on the mediums and Diamond, who's made an absolute great start,
and
actually.
It looks like at the moment Stiffmeister's dropped down to P14 and Law is... Oh, Alexis just gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So at the moment, L-Plan is now leading the Texas Grand Prix on medium tyres. Diamond Dushi's doing well at the moment. He's in the top 4 on soft tyres, but he's got Lexus and Raza Gamer behind him who are on hard tyres.
Diamond should still have the slight advantage here, but we are seeing now Night Owl being put under pressure by more later, especially now with the DRS down that long back straight. I think more Night Owl's going to be a sitting duck here next time round.
Oh, and both the Alpine are having a bit of a switch around as Law is P12 and his teammate LWS Yorkie is in P13. Gary killed me. It was rare, can't pass winter, says by Steel.
Maybe let the stewards decide that one still instead of throwing a bit of stuff out like that there. Send
Oh,
to the
and
stewards, they'll sort it.
oh, and Lexus is already getting yellow warnings for fuel.
Yeah, he's already, so he's underfueled basically, probably about half a lap. I know around here you are going to be saving quite a lot of fuel just due to sector 1 that you are letting off quite a lot. So
Oh, and Cruiser gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and he is out of the Grand Prix. So now that's 2 drivers that are not in this race. And Lexus is gone past Diamond Duchy and More Leader takes P2 and overtakes Night Owl, but Night Owl's gonna react. And he's not that far behind from More Leader. Razor Gamer going past Johnny B, but Johnny B reacts. And Bidley gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
there was a nice little battle there between Raza and John, and lasted by 4 or 5 corners side by side. And even with Raza making a slight mistake on the power application, he still was able to make that move just by having the inside line.
And Law and Eagle have done a position. Law is now P11 from Eagle being P12. And Razor Gamer gets his first penalty, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Raz was doing well, he's P6.
He's probably pushing it just a little bit too hard in sector 1. Maybe he's taking a slight bit too much care, but he should be able to get diamond here with the DRS. Be a pretty simple one, which it looks like it is going to be. He'll have it done. Well, I say that. He will be side by side going into the braking zone.
Yep, and Johnny B is not that far behind from his teammate. He looks like he wants to get involved as well.
Yes, probably we are going to start seeing these soft tires start to fade away on diamond, and maybe this is going to be the start where Johnny needs to try to get past his teammate. If there are no team orders, he's going to have to do it the hard way. But Diamond should be smart enough to say, look, I don't have pace anymore, maybe, and just let you go. Don't let Razza get away from these pair of Alfa Romeos.
Yes, and Johnny B is going to get DRS. Is he going to catch up to his teammate to take P6? And Diamond Duchy manages to take P5 away from Razza, but Razza reacts.
Contact. That's it, Diamond and Raz off. That's only allowed Johnny B to get in there to the mix. He's side push wide. There's a Billy right over the back of Panic and Glock Lesnar. So that's going to punch up this whole group of 6 cars. Make that 7 now with Law in the back of them. He'll be looking to get through them as quick as he can.
Oh, and there's loads of movements being made at the moment. Diamond Duchy and Raz. And what's going on? And Johnny B looks like he's gonna get involved as well. but he's got Panic End behind him.
Oh,
And
no!
Ooh.
Absolutely sent it down the inside of Glock, and Bill made a bit of contact with Glock. Both of them are okay, but it was just probably a bit of an optimistic move, just trying to get through this field as quick as he can.
And Law's gonna get DRS. Is it gonna be enough to keep Glock Lesnar behind him? As we see at the moment, there's not really a lot of contact going on above the top 3. L-Plan is just leading the race, as he's got more leader, 2.769 behind him, and Lexus still got that yellow warning for fuel. He's using some of his ERS, and he's just got DRS, and he's got a Night Owl behind him.
So maybe he's just trying to conserve this gap, just trying to save up maybe a bit ERS, maybe try to save a bit more on tires.
And what is going on at the back for P6? Razor Gamer and Diamond Douchey are always going side by side, and Johnny B, Diamond Douchey's teammate, is P5, and Bidley gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Unlucky their cruiser. In the chat.
Well, rather have a look at Diamond up in turn 1. He does look to be a bit too far behind. Does his smart thing, just set him behind. Now will Diamond play the rear gunner for Johnny? Just slow up the pack behind the slide touch, let Johnny make that gap out.
Oh, and this camera angle is lovely to watch at the moment, as we can see Diamond Douchey and Raz. The gap between them is 0.134. Oh, and Law was trying to get involved there with DRS. Is he going to make a move on Razor Gamer? Yes, he does, to take P7.
Law's definitely on the charge back up towards the top. And probably the most important thing is he's left Seth Meister behind. They both came in to circle our drive through, and he's been able to bring out about a 2.5 second gap on him. So that could be playing pivotal at the end of this race, especially with the pace that Law has, it looks like.
As we are on lap 10 of 28, L-Plan is still having his own race, as he's leading the Grand Prix at the back with Law and Diamond Douchey. Law manages to make a move there on Diamond to take P6. Oh, a more leader. That's not good. He gets 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Yeah, don't know why, to be honest, he was pushed in there. I know Lexus is 3 seconds behind, or 7/10 behind, but Lexus already had 3 seconds. He didn't really have to worry about it, but Lexus is going to try to push him now with the DRS coming up towards the braking zone. He's got so much overspeed, this should be pretty simple, yeah.
Oh, and Gary gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Excuse me there. And Nexus at the moment is managing to try and keep more leader behind him, as Lexus is now P2. As it stands at the moment, them two have both got penalties. Oh, and there's caution in sector 3. And I believe that's
Eagle. He's just off the
Eagle.
left of the track. He's lost all of his front wing as well, so don't know what's happened there. Bit of contact with someone.
Yeah, but I think he's just had a bit of contact there with someone. Because he is missing his front wing. What tyres will he go on to?
Should be, yeah, straight on to the hards. That will take him to the end of this race. Obviously takes care of them.
Yep. Oh, and Diamond Douchey looks to on the outside of Razza Gamer, and Panic End manages to squeeze it in as well to take P8. Oh, but he touches the back of Diamond Douchey's car. And Stiffmeister looks like he wants to get involved as well. So now Raz is dropping a few places down to P10. And more leader is into the pits.
So that is the first of our medium runners in. And interestingly, well, I was about to say Diamond Tushy, he's still on 10 lap holds. Sauce, but he's coming into the pits as well. So that should be just straight on to the hards. You get towards the end of this race.
And Lexus gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. When will we see L-Plan and Lexus? When will we see most of the drivers go into the pits, as we are on lap 12 of 28?
Well, Diamond Dish is anything to go by. These mediums can do 16 laps. And if that's the case, then maybe we'll see these guys at the front, maybe 13, 14 laps on the mediums, and just split the strategy in half. Especially now with L Plan basically having a 4-second lead over Night Owl.
Yep, and Law manages to get past Johnny B to get P4, and Panic End and Stiffmeister. Oh, they're going side by side. Panic End using some of his ERS. He's only got 8% left.
What was contact?
Oh, there's contact between Panic End and then Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, it looks like Stiffmeister might have just put that on the inside a bit too much. And obviously it looks like he's got away without the damage. It's maybe just not a turn to really send it, as he actually runs slightly wide in pit lane there, nearly hit the wall.
Yep. And we will see that most of the drivers... Oh, and Stiffmeister has retired from the session. That's like that's not been a good race from him.
So we have little spun around sector 1, he has got going again. Let's have Diamond Tissue though coming up on him very quickly. Just gets out of the way, but we can't see his rear tires have overheated. He's stepped it into the wall. Billy is out. Will that cause a safety car?
Did he do that on purpose, or did he just lose it on track?
He had spun the car, so his rear tires were overheated. He had lost the rear end slightly, and he's tried to save it, and maybe just overcorrected. I don't want to say anything, but to me, it looked like he's just trying to save the car with just the overheated rear tires.
Mm, fair enough there. And then we see that L-Plan is going into the pits, but Night Owl stays out. And so does Lexus. And Johnny B is in P3 at the moment. And L-Plan is going to come out P8. Oh, and he nearly goes into more leaders. He comes out of the pits. Will that
So,
give L-Plan? He's pitted early before everyone else, including Night Owl and Lexus. Will that give him a chance to get back into the top 3? But first he needs to catch up.
just touched the back of Dynamo down there, coming up towards the back straight. Interestingly, more leaders pitted 2 laps ago, and he's got a 4.5 second undercut done on L Plan. So that could be something to come into his L Plan's looking right on the more leader again as soon as he's got past Dynamo down. So the minute L Plan is winning it on track, more leader is ahead, but with the time penalty included, it will be L Plan's race.
And we are on to lap 15 of 28, and Lexus and Night Owl have stayed out at the moment, but Night Owl is not that far behind from Lexus. And Dynamo Dan is into the pits, and L-Plan is managing to try and keep P6, but more leader is on his outside, and they do a bit of contact.
This is definitely not what L Plan needs. He's got 2 cars in between him and he's say the guy that will challenge him for this race win law, but fighting with more leader here, it's just going to cost him too much time. He needs to just get rid of him and rid of him fast.
Yep, and more leaders gonna get a DRS. Will it be enough to catch up to Glock Lesnar, who's been on the hard tyres for 14 laps? He looks to make a move. Oh, and tries and gives Glock Lesnar a bit of room there, as L-Plan nearly hits Glock Lesnar, and L-Plan gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not good for L-Plan, because he's P5 at the moment.
So
And we see now Night Owl and Alexis are into the pits, and that gives L-Plan his chance to go to the top 3, and Johnny B is leading the race at the moment, but he's gonna have to pit soon, as he's been on hards for 15 laps. And Night Owl manages to get P10 as he comes out of the pits. And he's on the medium tyres, and so is Lexus. So the only people that really need to pit that are in the top 5 is Raza Gamer and Glock Lesnar. Because as it stands at the moment, Glock Lesnar is in P4 without a penalty, and Raz is on a 3-second time penalty. Ooh. And as I'm speaking, Law manages to get past Razagamer and Glock Lesnar.
This is definitely not what our plan wanted to see. He thought he might have had a chance when the two guys in front of him and both got drive-through penalties under the early virtual safety car. Now he's already 3 seconds behind him, and Del Plan's got the 3-second time penalty to deal with. So it's basically
Oh, and
Law's race to win.
Gary and Glock Lesnar get a penalty, and Glock Lesnar gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not good for him. And Johnny B's into the pits as he will come out P9, which means More Leader is leading the race at the moment, but he is on a 3-second time penalty followed by L Plan. So will that be good for Law, who has not got a penalty?
We have Nidal and Lexus all over the back of Diamond Duchy. Lexus looking down the inside. Gets the move done. Crucially, he will have DRS as the detection zone is before the corner. But he still
And
won't be able to fight this.
Diamond Juicy's used all of his ERS up and had DRS. Oh, and him and Lexus are having a bit of contact. Followed by Night Owl, who looks like he's gonna get involved in this as well.
Well, guys, don't go 3 wide.
It's 4 cars at each other. Well, that's not gonna be good. And Raz is P5. Raz still needs to pit soon as it's lap 18 of 28. He's got a penalty though, but his hards are probably not gonna last for that long, as Diamond Dushi's all over him behind him at P7. He's draining his battery, only got 3%. And Gary sets the fastest lap of a 1:35.848.
With Law being just over 1.5 seconds behind the top two, both with having penalties, now he can relax. It might be worthwhile just checking if he does have any warnings, which it looks like he does. He's got 2 warnings at the minute, so he is 1 away from a 3-second and joining them guys.
And More Leader and L Plan, they're fighting for P1 at the moment. More Leader's got less battery than L Plan. The gap between them is 0.234. And L Plan's gonna get DRS. Is it going to be enough to catch up to More Leader, as he's trying to look to make a move on him, but is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. And Raz is into the pits, and he's going onto the softs. And he will come out of the pits nearly ahead of his teammate. And More Leader gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's not good for More Leader, because Law is in P3 and he's going to have DRS. But what's going to happen? Oh, don't go 3 wide, gentlemen. It's not going to be good. And Raz gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. There's all sorts of movements going on in the top 6. but keeping it clean though.
I don't know what I just seen, honestly. Laws just set that around the outside of two guys at the end of that back straight, and there was no contact. Fair play to him. So that's him
My
from
God.
completing the first challenge. Now he will be able to drive away as he's already got a 1.1 second advantage over L Plan.
Yep, and Johnny B sets the fastest lap time of a 1:35.480. And Law is just having his own race at the moment. And Railwinter gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And we are on lap 20 of 28, and as it stands at the moment, if Law does not get a penalty, he could potentially win this race. But Elplan and More Leader have got a penalty, so will that be advantage for Night Owl?
What the minute really are. Top three
Oh, and
is looking.
it's caution in sector 2. And Railwinter gets a drive-through penalty, severe collision with Raza Gamer.
Raza, he has no front wing. He just put it onto the soft tires. So that's going to really disappoint him. He's probably going to try to fight through the field again. Try to grab some good points for that Red Bull team. That's just ground to a halt.
And Raza gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Oh, that is disappointing for Raz. He just pitted, like what Krusky said, he just pitted for soft tyres. And now he's got to pit again to fix his front wing. And the only hope for Raza Gamer is if there was to be a safety car, which is probably a 50% chance that there probably won't be one, with lap 21 of 28, and Railwinter is into the pits and is coming out.
That would be to serve his drive-through.
And Raz is retired from the session. Raz is not going to be happy with that, as it's his first race for Tier 2, and on lap 21 he's had to retire. I was really hoping that Raz was going to do well tonight, but... And there's caution in sector 2. And the yellow flags.
More leaders all around the back of Elplan coming around the last corner here. Shouldn't go for the move. One thing to point out is Johnny is basically right on the back of Lexus, and Nidal is fighting with More Leader and Elplan. So Nidal technically at the minute is P3, but if he gets held up too much here, Johnny will have a chance to take that P3 off him.
And there's battles going on for P2 with More Leader and Elplan. They both got penalties and they're both trying to battle out, but Night Owl wants to see what's going on between them two, if there's going to be a spin or not. But Lexus looks like he's not far behind. And Railwinter is gone into the pits and retired. So that's been 6 drivers who are out of this race, and we've only got 14 drivers left.
Lexus and Nidal side by side. This is really deciding who is for P3 and P2 in this podium. The rest of the
Oh, and
guys having penalties.
Lexus was right behind the back of Night Owl. And it's caution in sector 1. I do not know who that is for.
That would be Rare Winter's AI when he's retired.
Oh yes, of course. But it's getting really close now. Lap 23 of 28. Law really needs to hold on to that P1. He really does not want to get a penalty now because More Leader, it's got a 6-second time penalty. So unfortunately he's not going to be able to get P2. L-Plan really needs to, even though he's got a 3-second time penalty, really does not want to get any more penalties. Otherwise Night Owl is going to get P3. Because Lexus has got a 6-second time penalty and he's currently losing to Johnny B, who's managed to take P5. And Dynamo Dan, oh, he's managed to get past Diamond Douchey.
Crucially for Johnny, we do have him at 50% DRS. The rest of them are all under 10%. They're basically going to be sitting ducks for him as we go into the last 5 laps of this race.
How do you think the race has gone so far, Crosscrew, with only a few laps left to go?
Yeah, it's been a good race so far. It's a bit of contact happened earlier on, but it seems to have settled a bit down now. Basically have a good top, or sorry, from P2 to P6, all within basically 2 seconds of each other. Johnny and Nigel here are probably the ones to look out at. Both of them no penalties, so whoever went between them two is going to get P2, and the other one will have to settle for P3 the way it is looking, so we could get a bit feisty. One probably disappointing one to me would be Gary. Sadly, just things haven't went his way. He's down 6 positions. It's just not working out at all. And as I was saying, that Johnny's actually just got past now. That is basically Johnny up into P2.
Yeah, and it's going to be close. And Lexus and Night Owl are battling out for P5 as Night Owl manages to, oh, what's going on? Oh, and he taps Lexus a bit as Lexus is in P5.
I think this top 4, or sorry, from 2nd to 6th, they're going even Dynamo down. I fancy his chances here to maybe close that 5-second gap in. We're just going that slow now. He's able to catch 2 or 3 tenths per corner.
And with 3 more laps to go, it's going to be a close cross screen with Law leading at the moment. He's got a 8.308 gap on More Leader, but at the moment as it stands, L-Plan, oh, looks like he's trying to hold Johnny B, but Johnny B really does not want to get a penalty. And Gary manages to get past Yorkie. And there's been caution in sector 1, yellow flags. But we're not focusing on that at the moment, as Johnny B is making a move on L-Plan, and Lexus looks like he wants to get involved as well, makes a move on L-Plan. So as it stands at the moment, if Johnny B doesn't get a penalty and keeps Lexus behind behind him. He might get P2 for Johnny B. And Lexus, unfortunately, is going to drop down a few places as his yellow flags in sector 2. And I believe that's at the back.
Yorkie has a left rear puncture. He hasn't pitted, I don't think, at all this race. I don't think he pitted on the first lap.
No,
So
he's been on hards for 24 laps. That is not good. He's only got 3 tyres left. The other one is not working. Oh, and that's not good for Yorkie. He's slowing down on track.
he might need to watch himself here with Law coming around. It is his teammate, but with that puncture, you never know what could happen. But it looks like he will be able to get to the pits beforehand. Finally make that pit stop that the Alpine guys were waiting on.
Yep, and he's finally going into the pits. That would have been dangerous for him, as his teammate is behind him, and he's gonna come out on track, and he's probably going to get lapped as Johnny B is catching up with one more lap to go. Law is doing well at the moment to keep P1, and Johnny B is doing well at the moment. He's going to get P2, and that's not good for Moore Leader. He's got another penalty, which means he's going to drop down a few places and is unfortunately going to lose P3. And Lexus really needs to catch up to Lexus, but he's run out of ERS as Night Owl is not that far behind. It's going to be a close cross squeeze. This is nearly the last lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, these guys, although they all have penalties, the third, fourth, fifth people, every 10th counts really, especially with one having 3, one having 6, and the other one having 9. So it's really all on L plan here. He can still maybe get a P6 out of this and only lose the one position, as long as he doesn't lose too much time battling here with Night Owl.
Well, we are now coming on to the final lap of this Grand Prix. Law is definitely going to win the Texas Grand Prix, and Johnny B is going to get P2, but unfortunately Lexus has got flashing red lights for fuel. It's not good for him. He's got that 6-second time penalty, and Night Owl is really catching up to L-Plan. He's using some of his ERS. He's using his DRS. He's got no ERS, and he managed to get past L-Plan. But Night Owl is starting to get flashing lights for fuel.
Yeah, but just to make that on the end, Lexus, we know he's been low fuel all the race.
And I thought Johnny B was and Law is going to cross the line to get P1 in a Texas Grand Prix, and Johnny B is going to cross the line to get P2. And Lexus drops down to P5, and Night Owl gets P3. Dynamo Dan gets P4. L Plan unfortunately is going to get P5. And Glock Lesnar gets a 5-second time penalty for unserving penalty, and Yorkie has left the session. And now we're just waiting for Bread's call and Eagle to cross the line. Whew. And what do you think of that race, Chris Gree?
Yeah, it was a good race. Kind of something what the tier twos have been doing all season. You know, El Plan looked like he had this race in the bag, and then Lost managed to fight his way through the field due to the early safety car, virtual safety car drive through picked up. And Johnny B, an absolute great drive. I think he ended up 10 spots ahead of his starting position to grab P2. It looks like it was probably the better strategy. The hard to the mediums, he got the advantage at the end of the race. Definitely some great battling, especially throughout the whole race with the top 4, top 5.
Yep, and we've got Law in P1, Johnny B P2, Night Owl managing to get P3 after L Plan getting an unfortunate penalty, and Alexis as well. Dynamo down, get a P4. More Leader drops to P7. Diamond Douchey P8. Glock Lesnar P9. Panic End P10. Gary P11. Bread is called P12. Eagle P13. And Yorkie P14. And then these are the people that unfortunately DNF'd. And when we get back to lobby, we will invite Night Owl, Johnny B, and Law for their interview. Oh, and there's Johnny B and Night Owl. Good evening, lads. Hello. Right, we're just waiting to go back. Hello, Johnny. Right, we're just waiting to go back into the lobby. And then we'll start the interviews. Krusky, you can take Night Owl and I'll take Johnny B.
No problem at all.
Alright.
Give Law one more chance. Something in my head says that he doesn't do interviews.
Yeah, I believe he doesn't do interviews.
After all these wins, he still can't do it. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, moving on to our P3 man, Night Owl. Talk us through qualifying. Was it what you expected to be? I think it was P7 you had ended up.
It's kind of expected with the setup I was using. It's nowhere near meant for the rain. But yeah, I was using 4639 wings, and they were absolutely terrible in the rain. Yeah.
Going into that race, how did the first couple of laps treat you? Was it any collisions, or were you able to keep it away from all that carnage?
I was able to keep it clean. Just the hards are just such a shit tire around here. Yeah, the hards were pretty much shit inside pit really, and the mediums just felt completely different. They felt like softs.
Yeah, I think you've seen that between yourself and Johnny. With being on the hard medium strategy, it seemed to work out a lot better. Going towards the end of that race, P6, P7, was there ever a podium thought in your mind? Did you have someone in your ear saying, you know, these three guys have got penalties, you can push for P3 and P2?
I knew I would be able to probably catch them up. I know I'd probably be able to catch them on the mediums, just because the pace difference between the hards and mediums is just completely different, especially on the lower fuel near the end of the race. Yeah, when they got penalties, that just made it so much easier for me. Yeah.
Was there anything going through your head? Because you were battling with Alpine there the last 2, 3 laps. Was there anything just to
Yeah.
say, hold back and maybe just take the P6 on track, but still grab your podium?
No, because I didn't know if L-Plan only had a free, and I don't like risking stuff like that. Say if I just sit behind him by the end, he could get like a free when it was warning to move to lose that 3 second. So I'd rather just go for it on track, beat him on track and pace. So if he does get a warning and moved, it doesn't affect my result when he is.
Well, that's P3, and I think it is still overall overall drivers leading going into next week. Feeling on next week, I don't even know what the track is.
Triller.
Yeah, Australia. How do you feel about going into Australia?
It's probably my best track in this game, or well, I'd like to think so because I just fucking love that track. So yeah, I'm just hoping I can do well there. I don't know what the gap is between me and Law now, but it's definitely he's bringing it back.
So he would be on 108, I think, after tonight. So I think with a win and him P5 in Australia, then that would be your
Yeah,
drivers.
he's not going to finish lower than B5 unless he gets taken out near the end or something. He's too consistent.
Well, it
So
will
I've
be
got to
something
keep
to look
finishing
forward to.
a place behind him or two, and that'll be fine.
It will be something to look forward to next week. And congratulations, buddy, on your P3.
Thank you.
And now we have got Johnny B. What car were you in again? Johnny?
Alpha. Right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Right, now
right.
talk us through your qualifying and race, please. Fair enough. I did see there. Also looking to the next race for you, Johnny, is Australia. Is that a good track of yours or not really the best? Fair enough. Any words from you there, Crossgrey? No. Oh
No,
yeah, did say right.
no, I'm happy enough. It was just an absolute great drive, to be fair to him, to battle through from P12. Yeah, it's definitely hard not to get the winners around here. So congratulations, boy, on the B2.
Well done. Well, you enjoy it. You enjoy watching the stream back. And yep, see you next week. Bye bye. And just a few words to our race winner there. He did well tonight, and yeah, a good race from him, and yeah, well done on the P1. Any words from you from our winner, Crossgrey?
Yeah, he's probably just a bit unlucky with catching the drive through, but he had enough time in the race to get back through the field. And to be fair, he's had a great drive to take home that race win.
And do you have a driver of the day in mind, Crossgrey?
Well, it was between the top two. Law basically lost the first, and Johnny P12 to P2, and just battling through the whole race. But I think just, Law won very convincingly, but I will have to give it to Johnny. It's just the fact he's had to fight through and fight near enough, I'd say, the second half of that race, coming from nowhere and battling through 4 or 5 cars constantly, take on P2. So I would say Johnny gets driver of the day.
And from words from Crossgrey. Well done, Johnny, for getting driver of the day. And yeah, that has been F1 23 Season 7 Tier 2 Round 12 from USA. And yeah, that has been me in the comms box tonight, your main comms, Rosie R180, and joined alongside by.
Cross Team Idiot.
Thank you for joining again, Krusky. It's been a pleasure.
And to you.
And we will see you all for, I believe, I don't think there's going to be a stream for our tier ones, so we will all be back for no, not for, no, it's a week break now, isn't it?
Let
I
me
just
just
don't know.
double check for you. Yeah, it'll be 1 week break and then we go on to Australia.
Yep, so we've got Australia next. So we will all see you in a couple of weeks' times. Peace out, and yeah, thank you and bye.